Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news at 6 where we get you the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. India signs the €7.87 billion Rafale deal to buy 36 jets from France. Agreement marks country's first major acquisition of combat planes in 2 decades. Jets to be delivered after 3 years. Karnataka Assembly passes a unanimous resolution against releasing additional Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu, decides that storages will be used only to meet drinking water needs of villages and towns in the Kaveri basin. The 3-day National Council meet of BJP starts in Kozhikode amid focus on finalizing a pro-poor agenda. Ruling party likely to address concerns on national security and terrorism in the wake of the Uri terror attack. And Goa Children's Court acquits the 2 accused in the rape and murder case of Scarlett Keeling. The 15-year-old British girl was found dead on the popular Anjana beach 8 years ago. Top story, India and France signed the much-awaited Rafale deal in New Delhi on Friday, ending almost 18 months of wrangling over terms between New Delhi and the manufacturer Dassault Aviation. The signing was concluded at Hyderabad House in the presence of Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar and his French counterpart. The deal includes the purchase of 36 aircraft, weapons, spares, support and maintenance, and the jets will be customized as per the requirements of the Indian Air Force.
Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar and his French counterpart Jean-Yves Le Drian signing the €7.87 billion Rafale deal on Friday. The deal enables India to purchase 36 Rafale jets from France, the country's first major acquisition of combat planes in 2 decades. However, India will get the delivery of the fighter jets only 3 years later, as France is committed to make deliveries first to Qatar and then to Saudi Arabia. All 36 Rafale jets will be delivered to India in a span of 5.5 years. The aircraft will be fitted with equipment that can throw missiles up to 100 to 300 kilometers from within the Indian territory.
आज भारत ने फ्रांस के साथ राफेल के बारे में इंटर गवर्नमेंटल एग्रीमेंट अंतर्देशीय समझौता कर लिया है, जिससे हमें एक पोटेंट इफेक्टिव फाइटर जो एयरफोर्स की एक अहम ज़रूरत थी वो मिलने का मार्ग खुला हो गया। ये 20 बरस में पहला एयर फाइटर के लिए पहला सौदा है, विच इज़ यूनिकनेस इन इटसेल्फ।
L'Inde et la France ont été partenaires, même à des moments où l'Inde était seule, la France était là. Aujourd'hui, on est parti sur une nouvelle phase historique importante.
Negotiations for the purchase of these fighter jets have been going on since early 2000. The initial proposal was to buy a total of 126 jets. However, due to differences over pricing and mountable devices, both countries could not reach a consensus. Talks on fast-tracking the deal gained momentum after Narendra Modi became Prime Minister in 2014. He proposed to buy the 36 Rafale jets during his visit to France, following which the deal was finalized at a price that is almost €750 million less than what was being quoted by the French side in January 2016. The jets that have now come to India will be equipped with state-of-the-art missiles like Meteor and Scalp, giving Indian Air Force a capability that had been sorely missing in its arsenal.
I wish Rafale deal had taken faster and at least our squadron strength could have been built up, and we should have had gone for more than at least 4 squadrons and not 2 squadrons.
The new deal also comes with several other discounts. Makers of the Rafale jets, Dassault Aviation, will have to ensure that at least 75% of the entire fleet remains operational at any given time. This warranty is signed for the first 5 years. Other concessions include free training for 9 Indian Air Force personnel, including 3 pilots, besides additional guarantee for 60 hours of usage of training aircraft for Indian pilots and 6 months of free weapon storage in case the Indian infrastructure is not ready for storing the weapons.
India plans to buy some more advanced aircraft from Russia and some other countries. It will give rise to arms race for some time. But Government of India thinks that given the nature of China and Pakistan, this type of purchase is most necessary. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Monish in Delhi.
A special session of the Karnataka Assembly on Friday unanimously decided not to release additional Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. The session also decided that no water from the present storages will be drawn except to meet the drinking water needs of villages and towns in the Kaveri Basin and Bengaluru city.
At a special session of both houses, the Karnataka Assembly on Friday passed a unanimous resolution to only release water that meets the basic concerns of Bengaluru and the Kaveri Basin. The resolution also ignored the Supreme Court's directive to release Kaveri water to neighbouring Tamil Nadu for irrigation.
See, they are doing contempt of court. See, justice is the main thing in this country. Each and every person has to follow whatever the judgment says when the case goes to the court. And this issue they are making as a politics. Karnataka government is making as a politics because they are going to face elections very soon.
Karnataka CM stand is unlawful. I think the court will consider it, take cognizance of the statement and do something.
All parties unanimously decided that water from the present storage will be used only to meet the drinking water needs of villages and towns in the Kaveri Basin and Bengaluru city. Leaders denied that the developments put the state on a collision course with the judiciary.
Supreme Court, they have passed 3 orders within a period of about 12 days now. All the 3 orders, they are all in the nature of interim orders. Why should the Supreme Court pass such orders? Much against the wishes of the people of Karnataka, knowingly that we do not have that much of water and knowingly that the Tamil Nadu has got sufficient water for all their irrigation purposes, and we are suffering for want of giving water to the drinking people in Karnataka.
On 19 September, the Kaveri Supervisory Committee had asked Karnataka to release 3,000 cusecs of water per day between September 21st and 30th. The Supreme Court doubled the quantum to 6,000 cusecs per day after Tamil Nadu pressed for water to save its samba paddy crop. The water was to be released from the 21st till the 27th of September. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
BJP's National Council meet started in Kozhikode today with poverty alleviation as its focal point. Even though the upliftment of the poor tops the agenda, the party will also talk about the situation post the Uri terror attack. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the public rally on Saturday, the first such event after the Uri attack last Sunday.
The 3-day National Council meet of the BJP began in Kozhikode on Friday with a meeting of the national office bearers. The entire city is decked up with party flags and huge posters and banners bearing the images of senior party leaders. The venue has been selected as a mark of respect to one of the founding fathers of the saffron movement, Deen Dayal Upadhyay. Upadhyay was appointed president of the Bharatiya Jan Sangh in Kozhikode in December 1967.
In a way, this National Council meeting here, which is taking place on the eve of the birth centenary of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji, will provide us an opportunity to rededicate ourselves to the ideology propounded by Pandit Deen Dayal ji.
While the focus of this meet is the welfare of the downtrodden, the Uri terror attack seems to have forced the party to recalibrate its agenda. With the party's founder Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay's views on the Kashmir issue prominently displayed at the venue along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's.
You will naturally have one major issue in your minds about the situation in the country, in the neighborhood, etc., etc. It's a very important national council, but its focus is on Pandit Deen Dayal ji, his ideology, his commitment to poor and downtrodden people, how to take it forward. But when we meet at an important meeting like this, it's natural that all the important issues before the nation will be discussed at appropriate levels.
Party leaders who reached Kozhikode to attend the meet are also continuing with their outburst against Pakistan.
पाकिस्तान आज पूरी दुनिया भर में बेनकाब हुआ है और भारत की डिप्लोमेसी के कारण, भारत की फॉरेन पॉलिसी के कारण और मोदी जी की जो एक छवि है, जिनके एक स्पष्ट संदेश पूरी दुनिया भर में दिया है कि किस तरह से आतंकवादियों का गढ़ और उनकी ट्रेनिंग पाकिस्तान में दी जा रही है, पूरी दुनिया भर में उसको एक्सपोर्ट किया जा रहा है और भारत पिछले 30 वर्षों से उसको सह रहा है। दुनिया ने अब सहना शुरू किया है।
What happened, Uri, then it is an attack on the national security of India. For that, already the Prime Minister has made it amply clear that those who are perpetrator will be punished. The Defence Minister has made it clear that DGMO has also made it clear that we will respond to Pakistan in equal measure, but the time and choosing will be ours.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a public gathering on Saturday and also honour senior leaders from the days of Jan Sangh. An exhibition on the life and work of Deen Dayal Upadhyay and the history of Jan Sangh and the BJP will also be held during this meet. With inputs from Vishal Daya in Kozhikode, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, in fact, Vishal Daya is joining us on the phone line now at the moment. Vishal, give us a sense of what we can be expecting tomorrow, of course, when Prime Minister Modi does address that session, he does address that rally. It's going to be his first public reaction, really, to what happened in Uri and what eventually the government plans to do.
Oh, yes, indeed. Quite a lot of expectations as far as Prime Minister's tomorrow's public address is concerned. And this is going to be first such event after the deadly terror attack in Uri sector. Clearly, going by the statements which have been coming in from the BJP leaders, as we heard in that story which I sent, it's one thing is quite clear, that although the party does not want to make it, very apparent that this particular issue will be discussed, but in some way or the other, we might see some strong statement coming in from the BJP leaders, and perhaps it might be the Prime Minister himself who might.
All right, we seem to be having a problem there with that link with Vishal, of course, giving us an idea really that the BJP, even though has several other issues that it would like to discuss, coming in the backdrop of that Uri terror attack, one is bound to talk about national security, or for that matter, even expect something coming out from the BJP camp, at least tomorrow, especially when the Prime Minister does address that session, his first public reaction to the Uri terror attack that we saw on Sunday. Vishal, if you're still there with us, you were, of course, highlighting of what we can expect from PM Modi's speech. But apart from that, what else significant coming out of that meet?
Well, one thing which is quite clear out here in this particular meet is that the party plans to send a signal. The reason behind choosing this particular, place has been pointed out that it was the party's ideologue, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay's anointment as president around 49 years ago, which prompted the party to, choose this particular venue. And, this also coincides with the beginning of centenary celebrations of the birth year of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay. But then, apart from that, the BJP in the recently concluded elections have won one seat, have opened this account, has increased the vote share also as far as the state of Kerala is.
All right, Vishal, thanks so much for joining us for the moment. Perhaps the link is going to be a little better when we speak to you later, but thanks so much for the moment. We'll, of course, keep an eye out for developments on that front coming in from Kozhikode, and, of course, tomorrow when the Prime Minister does address the national meet. On to more news, and the Maharashtra police have issued sketches of the 5 suspects who were spotted by school children near the naval base in Uran town of Rajya district. The spotting on Thursday sent security agencies into a tizzy. The sketch, which has been circulated among all investigating agencies, was based on the description provided by the 3 school students who reportedly spotted the men. A high alert has been sounded along the Mumbai coast and adjoining areas. The police, Maharashtra's anti-terror squad and the Navy are all involved in the massive multi-agency search operation. The Navy has also pressed into service its choppers for aerial surveillance and heightened patrolling in the sea. Schools and colleges remain shut after the news spread in Uran and to nearby towns. All right, so as you can see, those are the sketches that have been released by the Maharashtra police of those 5 suspects who were in fact spotted by school children, 3 of them, near the naval base of Urandown in Rajya district. And ever since then, the Navy, of course, has been on a high alert across all the coastal areas there, especially in Maharashtra. The spotting, of course, took place on Thursday. And as we mentioned, it did send security agencies into a tizzy. The sketches, like you just saw on the screen a short while back, they have been circulated among all investigating agencies, as you can see there, which is, of course, based on the description by those 3 school children who spotted them on Thursday. A high alert has been sounded along the Mumbai coast and adjoining areas.
सब एजेंसीज मुंबई पहुंच गई है, तो किसी को कुछ चिंता करने की जरूरी नहीं है। लोग शांति बनाए रखें, अफवाहों पे विश्वास नहीं करें और गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज को कोऑपरेट करें। अगर कोई भी सस्पिशियस चीज आपको लगे तो आप तुरंत पुलिस को इसके बारे में इन्फॉर्म करें और इसको अन्य किसी से शेयर नहीं करें।
On to the other big story today. Verdict in the 8-year-long Scarlett Keeling rape and murder case was delivered today, bringing with it huge disappointment for the victim's family. A Goa Children's Court acquitted both the accused of all charges, dealing a severe blow to Scarlett's mother, Fiona, who has been camping in India for years with the hope to get justice for her daughter.
I was hoping for a guilty verdict. I'm still shocked it was so quick.
The devastated mother of British teenager Scarlett Keeling walking out of the Goa court on Friday, moments after the acquittal of the 2 accused in her daughter's rape and murder case. Speaking to the media, she said she's lost all hope in the country's judicial system.
The CBI have got to take an appeal or decide whether they're going to take an appeal, but I don't know if I've got any faith in the justice system here to give us justice anymore. It's taken a lot of effort for me to stay positive and have some faith that something would come through for us. I don't know if I can draw the strength up to carry on having that kind of faith. I just want to be with my children right now.
The accused, Samson D'Souza and Placido Carvalho, both of whom worked in a beach shack, were acquitted of all charges by the Goa Children's Court.
Justice has been prevailed, so I'm happy. Thank you.
8 years ago, 15-year-old Scarlett Keeling's bruised and half-naked body was found on the popular Anjuna beach in Goa. Her death made headlines worldwide and triggered a debate on how unsafe the popular tourist destination was for foreigners, especially for women. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
With a quick break here, we'll be back with more news in a bit. Stay with us.
Our institute's mandate is to work with different natural fibers, excluding cotton. Plastic has got definite advantages, it's true, but simultaneously it is also true that it is not biodegradable. We have developed a technology using which almost no water is required.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Gautam Roy, Director, National Institute of Research on Jute and Allied Fiber Technology, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Let's get you some more news now. And in fact, Russian forces arrived in Pakistan for its first ever joint military drill. The drill is scheduled to begin on Saturday. Around 200 Russian troops are participating in that military exercise. It was earlier reported to have been cancelled in the wake of the Uri terror attack. The 2-week military drill has been named Friendship 2016 and is the first between the 2 former Cold War rivals. It will continue till the 7th of October. Although not many details are forthcoming, the drill is supposed to take place in the mountainous areas. The exercise is being seen as a signal that Moscow and Islamabad are deepening their military cooperation. Now, after 3 days of protests of the killing of an African American by a police officer, demonstrations dwindled early on Friday in North Carolina's Charlotte district. Family members of the victim were also shown the video of the incident that led to the shooting. Amid calls for a public airing of the video, they said that it raised more questions than providing answers.
Riots continued in Charlotte, North Carolina for the 3rd day on Thursday night. Protesters defied the midnight curfew to come out in force to demonstrate against Tuesday's killing of an African American by the police.
I don't agree with that simply because I'm grown and I feel like I should be able to, stay out as long as I want. As far as my reasons for doing this, I have one sibling and he is my brother and I feel like it's my duty to protect him.
We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
A protester who was injured in the rioting on Wednesday died on Thursday. 9 people have been injured so far and 44 others are arrested. National Guard troops assisted the police force to help quell the crowd.
If there is a curfew, I would try to work with the ministers that's out here and try to get people to comply because they've done so well thus far. We don't need to ruin it. We don't need no negative spin on what they're done. I'm very proud of the young people of Charlotte. They stood up, they acted in a professional manner. They're not tearing things up like the media would like for them to do. And I'm hoping that they continue to do that.
43-year-old Keith Scott was killed on Tuesday as part of a police search for another man. The police alleged that Scott was carrying a gun when he approached officers and ignored repeated orders to drop it.
I'm being honest. You feel me? If I gotta die over that curfew, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Y'all ain't gonna stop me. What if I was working? What if I had a job? Y'all gonna tell me to leave my job early?
Scott's family members previously said he was holding a book and not a firearm. But after viewing 2 videos recorded by police body cameras, they now say they have more questions than answers.
I definitely think that the video needs to be shown for everyone because the chief of police actually was saying that he saw the video and the video vindicated or justified the shooting initially. And then later on, once he's seen it, he said what he saw did not definitively show that the guy raised his hand or was shooting a weapon. But it still raises a lot of questions and concerns about what actually happened.
The police admit that the video supports their account but does not conclusively show Scott pointing a gun at their officers. Scott's death is the latest incident to stir passions in the United States over the police's use of deadly force against African Americans. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And let's get you some news from Syria. There are signals of further escalation in bombing campaign in the Syrian city of Aleppo. The Syrian army has announced the start of a new offensive in the rebel-held east of the city. Developments come as efforts to ease the humanitarian crisis in Syria have largely fallen short, with the US and Russia, who support the opposite sides in the conflict, failing to reach a consensus on reviving the ceasefire that was enforced just a week back.
Residents of Tal Baser in Homs province are running for cover as airstrikes hit. A woman was killed and a number of children injured. The residents are shattered. Just a few days back, they had celebrated Eid as a ceasefire was announced. But unfortunately for them, things are back to square one. Jets have been pounding several rebel-held positions in the city and elsewhere as a week-old truce collapsed. And Syrian military has now announced a new offensive in rebel-held eastern Aleppo, where 250,000 people are living under siege. The developments come as talks between the US and Russia in reviving the collapsed ceasefire broke up without progress in New York. Things have been even more hostile after an aid convoy was attacked in Aleppo, which UN deemed a potential war crime. The US accused Russia of bombing the convoy, while Russia denied responsibility. On Thursday, US Secretary of State John Kerry said Washington cannot be the only one trying to hold open the door to peace. United Nations says it was still working to restart peace talks.
This effort has always depended on Russia having the will and the wherewithal both to comply and to deliver the Assad regime and its partners, and depends on the opposition.
Обеспечить соблюдение перемирия. Были попытки наших некоторых партнеров сделать так, чтобы лишь односторонние шаги предпринимало правительство, но мы настаиваем и находим поддержку, что
the co-chairs are determined to make the agreement work, and they have the support of the members of the Security Council. That was absolutely clear, and hopefully today this will be reflected in the deliberations of the ISSG.
The Syrian declaration of a new offensive further undermines hopes of restarting the ceasefire. Aleppo has already seen an escalation of a bombing campaign in the last 24 hours that has left dozens of civilians dead. And with the army now urging civilians here to avoid areas where terrorists are located, the conflict is only getting worse. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. 8 firefighters died in a major fire in the east of Moscow. Their bodies were discovered in the rubble left by the fire this morning. Russia's emergencies ministry said that the firefighters were on the roof of a building when it collapsed. The fire burned down a large warehouse containing plastic materials on Thursday evening. Yahoo Incorporation said at least 500 million of its accounts were hacked in 2014. It added that it saw the hand of a state-sponsored actor. The theft appears to be the world's biggest known cyber breach so far. The attack on Yahoo was unprecedented in size, more than triple other large attacks on sites such as eBay Incorporation, and it comes to light at a different time for Yahoo. The website encouraged its users to change their passwords. A strong earthquake measuring 6.4 on the Richter scale struck off the east coast of Japan about 150 kilometers east-southeast of Katsura City. The Japan Met Agency said that there was no threat of a tsunami, though no injuries or damage were in fact reported. All right, some cricket news now. In a sharp spell of rain played spoil sport for the Kiwis as they cruised to a formidable position in the Kanpur Test as play was called off early on day 2. New Zealand ended the day at 152 for 166 runs short of India's total of 318, with Kane Williamson and Tom Latham at the crease. India started the day on 291 for 9, with Jadeja looking to boost the total, but the last batsman packed up at a total of 318. The pitch gave the Indian spinners much more turn than the New Zealanders, with Umesh Yadav trapping Martin Guptill in the front. But then the Indian bowlers ran into the formidable Kane Williamson. He, along with Tom Latham, played on steady as the Indian bowlers tried to dislodge them. The duo added a 117-run stand. And that's all we have for you on the news at 6. Thank you so much for joining us.